We have to adjust with how to do marketing in this landscape. The era of just being able to post about oils and people are curious and then they respond to you in a lot of ways is ending. That doesn't mean that it doesn't still have potential and that doesn't still work. I see it in my own team as well, of that we can get so distracted in trying to reach the masses that we're no longer reaching the one, like the person in our neighborhood, the person we talk to all the time that they don't have oils, maybe, right? It's like this distraction of focus on the many is really hurting too many people's doTERRA businesses. The reality is the legacy top builders in doTERRA, they didn't build on social media, right? They built it knee to knee in their homes, in person with people. I'm Quinn Curtis. I'm filling in for Andy today. He asked me to jump on. He and Natalie are in the Hawaii presidential retreat right now. I'm so excited for him to come back and tell us more of the cool things that they've been learning and doing. Let's just have some time to connect together as well. First of all, I want to hear, just breaking the ice, what essential oil have you used in the past 24 hours? Have you had an essential oil diffusing? Have you reached for anything topically? Or, like, I've even got my VMG right here with us. I'll be drinking throughout the call. I would love to hear it in the comments. I have Shinrin Yoku in my diffuser right now, right beside me. And oh, that one is so good. Such a powerful one. Oh, good. Leanne is diffusing Coastal Escape. Oh, such a good blend. Coastal Escape and just put on Motivate Touch. Oh, that's a great oil to use with this call. That's brilliant, Leanne. I love that. Endless Summer Esther has. Oh my gosh, goodness. And then, oh, you've been on the detox. Is it the 90-day cleanse? I'd love to hear that. And so you've been using a lot of Revitazen. I am telling you, Revitazen is quickly becoming one of my all-time favorite essential oils. It is so, so good. I love it and have been using it daily lately too, because I've been in month two of the cleanse. It's been awesome. Virginia is using Deep Blue. Oh, the sticks, the Deep Blue stick, frankincense stick, and helichrysum. Incredible. I need to pull those out more. I'm so glad that you're reminding us of like the frankincense stick. I should use that all the time. Ooh, balance is always my go-to. Such a good one. Love that. And then Erica used lavender for your 2 and 4-year-old boys last night at the Cheesecake Factory when they were getting restless waiting. And your husband made you both your VMG. Yeah, this morning. How did that lavender work? Did it help them calm down? Yeah, it's hard to wait for food when you're 2 and 4 years old. It's hard to wait when you're 40 years old too, huh? And then Shanna used Serenity for bedtime nightly and lots of frankincense and copaiba. Virginia used cypress, lemongrass, and you hurt your fingers. So you've been using these with it. I just love this, especially to just start our conversation, because at the heart of everything that we're trying to do with growing doTERRA, when we don't nurture that love of the oils, right, or we're not using our oils, it's amazing how life can just get going and then we forget and we don't pull them out as regularly. But man, when we do, it makes it so easy and natural to share. And it's authentic and genuine to share as well. So thank you so much for sharing all of those insights. Let's go ahead and turn this into some business and branding and marketing coaching. For those of you that know me, you'll know that that is my specialty. I've been a branding and marketing strategist and leader for a long time. I've been hired by the Goddards multiple times and by many of doTERRA's top leaders to support and help them figure out their branding and marketing strategies. And, including the Chedevies and Haley Hobson and lots of presidentials and blue diamonds. And so I really understand this business. I've also grown my own doTERRA business. It's a global business over the years as well. Admittedly, I have been kind of building that on the side of everything else, because I just keep being pulled into the worlds of needing to support with marketing and branding strategies and how to grow this business authentically and genuinely. I think that's the biggest area that I feel is tricky when you decide you want to grow a doTERRA business. So I want you to be thinking in our time today, and let's first of all, like, let's just set an intention right even before we begin of just what do you want to get out of this call today? Like for you to feel like this was an hour well spent. I'm so glad I devoted my time to this today. So glad I showed up. I feel so lucky that I was there. Like, what would feel so supportive today? And sometimes these answers can just pop up and come from within ourselves, right? Or there might be something that you're like, I've been really feeling stuck in this specific way or the specific area of my business. And this is a really powerful moment to receive some laser coaching and mentoring to support you that way. And I think let's even, if you're up for it, I'm happy to bring you off of mute. You can explain what's been going on briefly, and then we can dive into solutions and strategies that way. But if you have a pen and paper, let's just take a minute right now and set an intention for the call today and what you'd like to get out of your time with me today. The intention that I'm setting and that I just want to like put out there is my hope and intention for this call is that those of you who came, that you might be feeling a certain block in a space in your business. Maybe things aren't flowing the way that you would like them to. Maybe you're losing a little bit of joy and enthusiasm. My hope is that we'll be able to loosen up that little boulder in your path today, or even remove it entirely so that you can just find some renewed enthusiasm and clarity around your business of how to move forward strong. That's what this entire podcast is all about, is helping you find success with growing doTERRA as a business. So we're going to remove the boulder altogether. So a couple of areas just to get the ball rolling that we could talk about is a lot of people are feeling really torn about what to do with how to market their businesses right now. Social media has gotten even more messy. It is, you know, there's some discouraging parts about marketing. As a professional marketer, I can tell you it is a different landscape than it was years ago. And so that can be tricky of like, well, how do I grow my doTERRA business right now? And yeah, like Stephanie's saying, she's been told to not post anything saying doTERRA on your socials. So what are some ideas? I was seeing in a I think it was a presidential diamond thread recently where they were talking about how difficult it has been. How do you talk about this incredible solution when you can't really talk about it on social media? So I don't know if anybody else has been struggling with that. Let us know in the comments. But that's a real issue. Like, what are we to do, right? You had the compliance issues that came out a couple years ago. Great to clarify, Becky, with your questions, like what does Stephanie mean by saying you can't say doTERRA? But I would assume what that's meaning is just here again, how to be compliant is probably one of those parts. But it's also, there's this, how do you grow the thing that you're trying to sell without even talking about it? So for example, I'm probably telling you too much context, but I'm an artist as well, and that's been a passion of mine and something I've been trying to grow. And as I've done a ton of research of like what works to grow artist brands as well as health and wellness brands like doTERRA and businesses, it's so funny to me how the world of marketing is shaping up to be, where it's like, well, share the thing that you're selling, but don't talk about it like you're selling it. And do all these other things instead, like do trending TikTok dances or do, um, just pointing at the screen while text is hopping on. Like it's a wild world. So we're going to help you navigate that a little bit better today and hopefully help you not feel like you have to jump through all the hoops. So if you have a specific question or you'd like some specific laser coaching on any of these types of aspects, like with branding and marketing and how to talk about your business comfortably and how to really show up and serve in the ways that you want to with doTERRA. Virginia, go ahead and come off of mute. And video also, if you'd be open to that, no pressure if you're not in a place where you can do video, but tell us about where the boulder in your path and let's talk through it. You can talk.
Oh, yes. I needed you to help. So, okay. So, can you give some examples of how to do a post
Mhm.
without saying doTERRA? Now, this is what I'm thinking. You tell me if it's still compliant. I use this.
Yeah.
I use this tool to help me because I hurt my finger. these tools made such a difference. There's not as much pain, and the color's changing, things going down. Is that okay?
Yes, yes. I mean, in theory, it's fine. And yes, Virginia was a little bit quiet to hear, so I'll just restate that. She's just saying, could she say something like, this tool really helped me, and my finger was hurt, and it had some swelling, and I used this tool, and then the swelling went away, right?
I can
So
I can show the tool, but I can't say the words of the tool, correct?
not necessarily. And so that's where I want to just clarify. There's some wiggle room here, and I'm definitely not the compliance expert, but I've been playing this game with doTERRA for a long time. Um, and yeah, keep going, Virginia. It sounds like you had another follow-up question.
So it's just a matter of saying how I'm to say it in a way that would, if you're curious, DM me. I'd like to share more.
Yes. So yeah, technically that would be okay. I just wouldn't use such a blanket word like tool. And I want to be clear, like you could absolutely share the photo of the oil, but I would say essential oil. I've been using essential oils lately, and they are changing my life. Essential oils are everything to me right now, Like I had this experience and I'm using essential oils and they are changing my life, but having a photo of a doTERRA oil, because there is a difference here, is like making a claim versus telling a story is also a fine line to be watching. So yeah, if we're looking at being uber compliant, you've got some great suggestions in the chat of like always talking about staying, taking things from a state to wellness, to more and more wellness. But I mean, truthfully, if we can just speak plainly, and I know this is being broadcast all over YouTube, um, like the biggest risk is when you're making a claim that this happened for me, and so it can happen for you. So, like, this essential oil cured my cancer. So, essential oils will cure anyone's cancer, right? That's the risk that that's the highest risk scenario right there, right? But when you're talking about your own experience of, hey, I've been using essential oils, I used them on this wound that I had recently, and they helped it to help to heal faster, and I got relief, and it was so amazing to have a natural solution that I could reach for instead of my alternatives, right? I is totally still in the green. So I just think that there's so much power in our stories, and that we're currently in a moment of doTERRA of reclaiming our stories and being able to tell them clearly. And when you put it behind even like what Dee is saying of like, I've been using this system instead of tool, I still think that is so unclear that your target audience is just not going to get it. So at the end of the day, this is like, how do we help people to see that there are real solutions here that can be life-changing and can like really benefit their health while at the same time not making sickness claims, right? And so that is where the more that you're really focused on, hey, this was my experience. And essential oils can be really beneficial. And if you'd like to explore them too, let me know, right? It's keeping it loose instead of come to me and I'll give you a prescription for the essential oils that are going to help you and solve every problem you have and heal you, right? Those are what I hope is there are these kind of examples kind of making that line a little bit more clear. Virginia, or what's coming up for you as you're feeling into that? You can unmute.
Okay, so I appreciate what you're saying, the wording, so that you don't cross the line.
Yes, yeah.
And figuring out where's the line, because it seems like the line's
Yeah.
changed. And so
Yeah.
I can say essential oils, but not the brand of essential oils. I can or cannot show the product, but I can definitely show my finger. Say, this is what happened to my finger. I the lid of my washing machine hit it, and it burnt it, and it
Hmm.
was sore. So I used some essential oils, and my experience was it decreased the the size of and the color decrease by what I put
Hmm.
on it without saying inflammation or swelling or pain.
Right. Here's the thing. Like the thing that has been dangerous for doTERRA in these compliance circles, the things that have made this even be an issue at all is like come to my webinar where we will share our cancer protocols about like how to use doTERRA essential oils to cure cancer. Right? It is even just saying that right now out loud on the interweb. Like that's scary. That's a claim, right? I think at the end of the day, especially what I'm seeing is I'm looking at a lot of people trying to share doTERRA online who are completely muzzled or feel muzzled, like what you're describing, Virginia. I mean, I think you're not being bold enough. And so I think the average distributor, as long as you stay in a zone of this was my story, this was my experience, in my opinion and in my experience with all of the compliance things, your little post about how a doTERRA essential oil helped bring down the inflammation in your finger is not a risk to doTERRA, especially if you're sharing it as this is my story, this was my experience. If you'd like to explore natural solutions with me, let me know. And you could say the word doTERRA and you could have doTERRA pictures. So I think like the thing to get really clear in everybody's minds is like first of all that the power of what you're sharing is in your stories, but then like yeah, you can play all these games like what you're getting suggestions of in the chat. Like I would say inflammation instead of swelling. I would say like I frankly I just feel like the world is hurting right now. People need the solutions that we have. They absolutely need them. And some of this compliance chat, it's made us like actually go all the way to the other extreme where we are saying things in such a confusing way that people just aren't getting it. They aren't understanding what we're trying to share. They're not getting the power of it. And you guys, you, the little person on this call making a social media post that this doTERRA essential oil helped your inflammation or helped your wound to heal, like say it. Like it is the high risk scenarios, like they just want us to be wise as we can be, but that also they want us to play and watch that line as carefully, like, go as close to that line as you can, in meaning like um rather than being so safely quote unquote over here where people can't even understand what you're saying because you're saying it in such a compliant way. Like doTERRA would rather that you were right next to the line of what was uncomfortable. And to your point, Virginia, it can feel like that line keeps changing. But I think at the heart of it, you just have to understand that you're just not prescribing with doTERRA online, not prescribing for other people. I can help you heal your thing, right? You're not making claims as in these oils cure cancer, these oils heal depression, right? It's more like, hey, they can support it or but here again, this is where your own story of like, I got cancer. I used these essential oils. They really helped my healing and rehabilitation. I believe they made a big difference. I'm so grateful I have natural solutions that can help me. Your story is still fine. You can share your story. It's a big reason, actually, why, like, on the Essential Life podcast, I don't know if you guys have checked that one out. It's called Oil Stories. We are just, well, anybody who's been involved with that podcast, um, we're sharing all the stories in their real glory, saying even the words doTERRA. Like it's not as like I'm just trying to walk that line with you guys today, and I don't want us to spend all of our time here on compliance. My hope is that from this conversation that you'll feel like I can let myself share a little bit more. Like, I don't need to be as freaked out about this. I know specifically, personally, the instances where compliance has had to remove posts or has had to, go after distributors, have them take things down, where a distributor was fined money because of doing something very non-compliant. all of those scenarios were very big, high visibility scenarios, like holding a webinar for like, let's heal COVID with essential oils, like with doTERRA essential oils. We'll teach you how to heal COVID. And like, oh, of course that's going to get shut down, right? That's making a major claim. It's prescriptive and just messy. But Virginia, I would say like, please share your story online. Please don't worry about some of these lines and trying to keep yourself in such a box. Like, share what's happening. And as long as you keep doing it from that space of this was my experience, then that's a really safe place to do it from, even to say the word doTERRA in it and to talk about whatever it is that you're doing. But as soon as you're like, hey, everybody with cancer, listen up, you're getting closer to that danger line because you're getting a little more prescriptive. This can work for everyone. So definitely talk to your upline leaders, call doTERRA. I mean, actually, if you call doTERRA, they're going to tell you because they have to legally, they will tell you to say it in the like crazy safest, nobody understands what you're talking about. But I think like one of the magic parts of building doTERRA is that like it's a little bit rogue. It's a little bit like just knee to knee, people sharing experiences. Like, how many of you maybe hit the reaction button or let us know in the chat? How many of you are here because somebody else had a really powerful experience with essential oils and shared that experience with you? Right?
It absolutely
Absolutely.
is. It makes such a difference. And I have all kinds of stories to share. When I'm me to me,
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about compliance so much as I do when I'm on the internet. But
Yeah.
and I'm just going to say it as it is and answer the questions and help people move forward and say, no, let's see, what does the book say? How do we do this? Not a big deal. But
Yeah.
when it's
Yeah.
the internet and when the crazy people seem, at least in my opinion, looking at this thing that natural solutions is hogwash, I'm going, wait a minute. We all have different body chemistries. There's a whole bunch of physicians that say, you got to look at this differently. It's just not my idea. Maybe it was in the 70s, but not now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good points, Virginia. And I think like God, if we all just take a deep breath and like first of all also recognize, and I'll just mute you again for that background noise, is just let's just talk about social media for a minute. Okay. Let's talk about the value of it for your business right now and what it's actually happening so that you are being wise about your investment with time in it anyways. Okay, because here's the thing that I see a lot of people getting very distracted by social media and feeling like I can't grow my business if I can't be talking about doTERRA on social media. The reality is that most of like the legacy top builders in doTERRA, they didn't build on social media, right? And especially those like the Goddards, for example, who have a really stable rank and base, like they built it knee to knee in their homes in person with people. It wasn't social media. Where social media is right now, the latest Instagram CEO update. I mean, maybe this isn't the latest, but it was a recent one, was confirming that yes, Instagram's algorithm now will show your posts first to total strangers to see if it gets likes and comments and reactions and shares there first before it will even show it to your own followers. And if it doesn't get likes, comments, shares, engagement in strangers, it's probably not going to be shown to your actual followers. Everybody take a deep breath with that, right? Oh, that's not fun to hear, right? So that's where Instagram is at. Then you have Facebook, which has always been a mess, which has gotten a little bit messier. And YouTube is going this direction too, where they're kind of going the TikTok algorithm direction, which is based off of interests. So instead of somebody hopping into social media and seeing the people and accounts that they have followed on any platform, including YouTube, all of these platforms are trying to show people things based off of their interests, meaning what they were last interested in when they were on the platform. So if you were watching content about essential oils, then great. Like next time you hop in, you might see some content about essential oils popping up, which would be so exciting, right? And that could be your post that you're putting out there into the interweb of wildness to hopefully, spread the good word of doTERRA. But if they were looking into cars, or they were, researching how to remodel their kitchen, or sourdough, like Esther is saying, like that's what they're going to see. They're not going to see your posts. So this is a huge issue right now, that basically, if you want your social media content to be seen even by your followers, you've got to pay for it by investing in like ads on social media, or you've got to create content that is so compelling that it can really go viral, and like you can get the algorithm to show it to everybody that follows you, or not even everybody will see it, but like to lots of people that will follow you. It's devastating. So many social media businesses, major influencers, I'm even like, you look at something like Google, which was a pretty sure place. Like everybody was very concerned about search engine optimization. I promise I'm going to share some doom and gloom, but there is hope here. So hang in there if you're like starting to melt with these things that I'm sharing. So with SEO, that was a huge thing for websites, right? Like we've got to make sure everything is search engine optimized at all times so that everything can be found. Guess what? Search engine optimization is so hardcore dying with the introduction of like now we have AI answering us when we do a Google search, and it's pulling those answers directly from our websites, but people aren't clicking through to go to that answer because once they've got it, they don't hang on. So just know, like, this is the wild dance of what we're facing with online marketing. One other piece that is showing up that's also kind of frustrating right now is email. Like, hopefully, in hearing some of this, I hope it's giving you a little bit of relief, that you feel less crazy, that you're like, okay, it's not just me. I've been trying all these things, doesn't feel like it's working. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels, right? If that's been happening, like, you're not crazy, you're not alone. With email, all of the at least Gmail, which is like the major email platform, has shifted to this, and so I imagine most email platforms have shifted also. If you are subscribed to a list, for example, like even I help with Essential Emotions, the brand, um, Essential Emotions. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with the book and app, and there are like thousands of Essential Emotions coaches who paid for getting their certification, and they are on this specific email list because they are actually coaches, right? Now, the email platforms are making it so if you haven't opened an email from a certain sender in a while, it's just automatically sending it into your marketing promotion folder, even spam, without you even being aware. So these are like lists that you have actively said, I want updates from that. That now the systems are just like, oh, let's make it easier on you. And we just won't show you things, if you haven't opened it in a minute. And personally, I was hospitalized earlier this year and like nearly died. And I wasn't checking my email really good. So I'm like, life happens. It's not just like I don't want to see stuff from this sender anymore. But this is the thing that we're navigating when we're trying to market. And as network marketers, like, we have to be good at the marketing part. We have to adjust with how to do marketing in this landscape. And so the bad news is that a lot of these internet structures are kind of crumbling or becoming way less dependable than they have been in the past. The era of just being able to post about oils and people are curious and then they respond to you, in a lot of ways, is ending. It's the glory days are not here anymore. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't still have potential and that doesn't still work. I would just invite each of you, if you're looking at an online strategy to help grow your doTERRA business, I would invite each of you to ask yourself, is this the best use of my time and energy? And really be clear, because it's not a get rich quick spot. It's not like I see it in my own team as well, of that we can get so distracted in trying to reach the masses that we're no longer reaching the one, like the person in our neighborhood, the person we talk to all the time, that they don't have oils maybe, right? Or the family member, or the like the people in our yoga class, whatever it might be, right? It's like this distraction of focus on the many is really hurting too many people's doTERRA businesses. So with compliance and like how to talk on the internet, I want you to just take a huge deep breath there and really just be clear on whether or not how much you even need to be involved there. Because my bet is for most of us, it's not that much. So I think then we could go into a space of talking about, well, how could you have, a little bit of a personal brand going so that when your friends and followers or family members or that one person, when they're coming to you and they do happen to see a post that you share online, when the algorithm gods smile upon you, right? And your post is shown to your actual friends and followers, then it shows up and it's in alignment with the message that you want to be standing for and sharing. And I think that's a conversation worth having. But I'd love to keep talking through if that felt like a good fit for you guys today, because I think that makes more sense than like I have a social media marketing strategy. Because one of the things that happens really easily, and I've done corporate marketing for years as well, and I've seen this in that space as well. Marketing can kind of be like the emperor's new clothes. Remember that story where it's like, oh, these guys come into the kingdom and they're going to build the king this amazing suit, and it's going to be incredible and amazing. And they're just over here working on stuff, and he keeps going in and he's not seeing anything. And they're like, oh, that's because we're using this incredible material that's invisible. And it's so amazing. You're gonna be so regal and impressive with this on, and people are just gonna be in awe at you, right? And they just keep working, and he's still not seeing it. And so then he starts thinking, well, I must be crazy. So I'll just go along with this thing that they're working on in the background that I really don't see how it's working, right? Until eventually he's out naked walking the street in the parade because there literally was never clothes, that they were building. Marketing can be this way where it can just take up all this effort and all this work. Let's take more photos. Let's do more videos. We need to do more reels. I need to be marketing people all the time. And in reality, like even as a corporate marketer, it's very easy to do all of that activity and action without paying as much attention to your ROI, your return on that investment. And so, as a business owner with your doTERRA business, being very aware of your return on investment for anything that you're doing is a very wise activity. And social media is one of those areas that can be a huge time and energy suck that we just kind of wash away as like, well, this is just the way it is. This is just how it is to grow doTERRA. I just need to post more. When in reality, how many actual builders has it brought you? How many sales has it brought you recently? Even if it was successful for you years ago, is it working now? And I would love to invite you to each just take it less personally, that maybe the issue with your social media efforts so far is not personal at all, but that there's this whole other algorithm situation at play. And yes, we can always become better marketers. We can always talk more clearly and compellingly about what we're sharing and doing. And also, it's an uphill battle right now. And so, would your time be better spent in other meaningful ways to grow your doTERRA business, like maybe hosting a gathering at your home? Maybe, like a lot of people, I think if you've been listening to this podcast, Cherie Burton came on a couple weeks ago, talked about how breakthrough circles are changing the game for her and Robin's businesses, and how they're just inviting people that they would have never been interested in doTERRA over to join them for an essential emotions breakthrough circle, which is this really beautiful healing experience that can be done with just a few little people in your living room or a bigger group. And there's a whole free downloadable guide you can follow. But like that's the kind of stuff that I see is working right now. As AI is also stepping in, the numbers that I've been hearing are not encouraging there as well. There's numbers projecting that over 70% of the content that we will all be seeing and experiencing on social media by the end of the year, they're projecting 76% of it will be created by AI. I mean, gross. Like, who wants that? Right? And so, this is just where, like, we as individuals with our own individual stories and our own individual lives, like, this is actually the most highly valuable asset your business has. Right. And so, Like this is also the trap I see a lot of doTERRA advocates getting caught up in is like, oh, well, I don't know exactly what to say or how to share. So I'll just make my feed look like doTERRA's. I'll use the doTERRA graphics that they share and I'll just post promotions and stuff like that all the time. And that's not a good fit either. So let's kind of start to talk about what is a good fit, and feel free to raise your hand as well if you've got additional questions or anything else you want to dig a little bit deeper in. But yes, I love like what Stephanie's saying. Let's just go there for a minute because Stephanie, I love this comment. Like ultimately, what's working right now is people are craving connection and they're craving what's real. They don't want to be sold to. They don't want to be tricked and manipulated, right? We're over it. In fact, influencers are less trusted now. Like the trust in influencer and influencer content is at an all-time low. And it's only going to keep going down. Like that one's not coming back. Um, and yeah, Jennifer, that was this year that it's projected that 76% of content by the end of the year that we'll be seeing online will be AI created. Gross, right? Such a bummer. So what is working is that connection, and how do we keep growing our businesses through connection? And so Stephanie's saying, I need more ideas to get more potential customers because my warm market is getting saturated, right? How many of you feel that, right? This is a moment in time where I really feel it's all about hold your people and hold them closer. So, like, how can we just really love on and create community? Like, how can we recognize that the community aspect of our business, which is the team part of it primarily as well, is a huge asset here? Like a friend and I that we were talking about her business strategy with doTERRA, so passionate about like, let's just help more women recognize they don't have to do this life alone. That when they choose to grow doTERRA with us, they're choosing to be part of a community that's going to be there for them, right? That's going to be cheering them on, that wants to hear about the hard times and the good times, and that wants to help them find solutions. Like this is not just a buy some oils kind of a thing. Like we wanted to really, especially with her vision, like how do we create more of a community and make, regularly connecting as a community a bigger thing so that people are like, I can't believe I get this for free, basically, by just being a part of your team. And of course, there's always ways we can overgive and do this out of balance as well. But I feel like a lot of doTERRA people or people in doTERRA are are ebbing more on the side of I won't say anything and I won't do in-person connection as much anymore. But those are the things that are working. I mean, you could listen to every single episode of this podcast that's been given this year, and I feel like that theme comes up every single time of different ideas of what's working in person. So we know that doing Zyto scans in person with people is working to help grow doTERRA businesses right now. We know that gathering people in breakthrough circles is helping people grow businesses right now. We know that gathering people in like community types of gatherings regularly helps people grow doTERRA. I was just talking to Roxanne Bybee a couple months ago, and she was just talking about how they moved from California, and she had had this beautiful community that she had built that they got together monthly. Like anybody that joined their team, they had monthly connecting time. And she said it just made her business growth so joyful. Like she just loved seeing her people every single month talking about wellness and dreaming big and creating cool stuff together. And that now that she's moved to St. George, Utah, how different it is, how she's recognizing she has to start over. She had kind of fallen into the online trap and thought like, I don't think she would mind me sharing this, but she was saying how, she was distracted by a lot of online ways of growing business. And she's just coming to recognize more and more, how do I get people back into my home with me? How do I get back into their homes, and that is happening through a lot of one-to-one outreach and or even hosting little community events or going where people already are and connecting them into other movements or other community gatherings. Um, so let's just keep that in mind that if we're doing anything online, like it should always be leading back to connecting one-on-one and in person, even like this call today where we're getting to connect like this. Like these are cool moments too. So this could mean like if you're not close to everybody, having a live Zoom call every month with your team, your community that can come, they can see your face, everybody can talk to each other. I have been, my doTERRA business it's like 15 years old, I think. And I have really seen that all of my leaders, including myself, the more we've disconnected from that part of our business, the less stable the actual residual income becomes. It's like vital, right? It's vital for us to stay connecting. And so even it's something I've been really stressing with Goddard's and how they're approaching their businesses as well, is just community is what keeps your business safe, stable, and growing. Community, the community part of your business, right? There's nobody that you could just sell enough into the oils, like convince enough that it's going to replace that part of it. Like it's just a vital, vital piece. And if you look at even like why you're coming onto this call, why you connect with the Goddards, right? It's likely there's a heart of this sense of community. So with sharing online, here's what I would recommend. And I'll share this framework and hopefully this will be supportive in wrapping it down. So if you're taking some notes, this is a good moment to take some notes. The way that I would go about sharing, if I were to share on social media a lot, is I would be sharing more from my mission and vision of what I'm all about. Let me, in fact, open some of my notes so I can share some of this with you. So like your mission would be like, how are you helping or what's driving your passion for sharing doTERRA and growing doTERRA? Like, what's at the heart of that? And really asking yourself those questions, letting yourself journal about it. Why are you here? Why are you doing this? Right. And it could be things like, because I believe there should be a better way to provide for our families, right? I believe it shouldn't be so freaking hard and stressful to just provide for ourselves. Or I believe that we all deserve more meaningful ways of, creating value in this world than just clocking in and doing a job that doesn't feel like it's making this world any better. Virginia's saying helping the next generation. Yeah, like, ooh, I've got teenagers and I had five teenagers for a minute at my house and now they're moving into adulthood. But that next generation, they're scared. They're like, nothing is sure. What do we do? How do we take care of our health and wellness, right? Marcia is saying health and financial freedom, like this heartbeat in you, I'm sure, Marcia, that's like, we deserve more. Like this should be possible for all of us. All of us should be able to have access to health and to financial freedom. Right? Can you even just feel how the energy of this conversation kind of changes? We start talking about this. And if you imagine your social media posts being from that space, beating that drum of like, I believe we deserve more. I want more for this human race. Like, I want us to experience more health. Like, way too many of us are too sick and too tired to enjoy our lives. And I'm saying enough. That's why I've chosen to grow a doTERRA business because this is my way of rebelling against that status quo. I'm saying enough, and whoever would want to join with me and link arms with me in building a healthier, more financially free future for yourselves and your communities and the people in your world, let's do it. Let's make this world better together, right? It's so different than trying to convince people to grow doTERRA with you because doTERRA healed your finger, right? It's like we should still be telling those stories because those are helpful, but it's very different. And Virginia, what you just posted is giving me chills. Seniors that can run with the next generation. Are you kidding me, Virginia? Like, start sharing this every time you talk to people about what you're doing and why it matters, right? Like, this is the message. You're like, I see way too many seniors who are disconnected from this next generation, and they have some serious wisdom to share. We have serious wisdom to share, and the youth of today are hungry for it. They're looking for it. These next generations need this wisdom. And guess what? We're too sick and tired to help them. So I'm on a mission to help more seniors to show up empowered and energized with their golden years, that these are actually their most golden years of their lives, that they can make the impact they've been craving of making their whole lives, right? That's why I'm sharing doTERRA with you, because I want your life to transform like this. And I believe this is the vehicle to do it. This is one of the most powerful, supportive ways we can do it, right? So that's the first key, is outlining your mission, your vision. How does the world change if you succeed at what you're trying to create with your doTERRA business? How does the world change and get better? Right. And get very clear on what that looks like. I mean, I think you can feel the difference in like Virginia, where she's saying seniors that can run with the next generation, which I cannot say or look at Virginia without getting teary, honestly. Like tears are coming into my eyes every time. Like the difference of that versus like, I'm sharing doTERRA because I just want the world to be better. Like the more specifics you can get about this mission and vision, that's the drumbeat in your heart for why you keep showing up to share doTERRA, why you believe in this, why it matters to you, right? That drumbeat, that's the type of content that I would be sharing. Um, Another direction you can go with that is to answer the question, because if you're like me, you're also sick and tired of blank, 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 and just bullet list out like, what are you sick and tired of? What is this standing up against? Like, I'm sick and tired of the next generation wandering around aimlessly. I'm sick and tired of looking at seniors and them feeling like they have just given up and they're just waiting until death takes them or something, whatever it might be. Or I'm sick and tired of so many people having to fight so hard to pay their bills. Like, this is stupid. We live in an abundant world. There is lots of possibilities. That's why I show up for doTERRA, whatever it is, but just outlining that and answering that question, right? To me, you're also sick and tired of blank, 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 and bullet list. That's great content to be sharing online as well. And then the other part, the final part, which kind of takes us full circle to what we started this conversation with, is your own story. How did you get here? What does everyday life look like for you? Because one of the things that can happen as we try to tell our stories is we kind of try to tell it like an arrival point story. Like before doTERRA, I was nearly dead and full of disease and like broke. Now with doTERRA, I have no more health problems and never have to worry about money, right? And that's just not even real. And so the reality is whenever you find yourself getting in that trap of like, "Ugh, I can't share my story because I haven't fully like arrived yet. I haven't created this like nirvana point of wellness and financial freedom that's in my mind that I should be at for people to believe in what I'm sharing." Right? Whew, just shake that off, right? That is not at all helpful. Instead, think of it much more like the yoga teacher teaching the yoga class, right? The yoga teacher teaching the yoga class is not the expert at yoga. They have not had they don't have, all their pain in their lives taken away purely because they are now the expert of yoga. Like you go to the yoga class because you want to be in the practice of yoga, and you go and you trust that yoga teacher because that teacher is in the practice of yoga and they've devoted time and energy, even, a lot of love to that practice of yoga, right? And so you're in the practice of wellness. You're in the practice of living with natural solutions. You're in the practice of addressing health concerns when they come up with natural options, right? You're in the practice of creating financial freedom. Because guess what? I have mentored, I won't give any names, but one of the most shocking things that ever happened to me in one of my marketing sessions was I had a big, big leader in doTERRA who was like crying to me and was saying, "Quinn, I'm only making $250,000 a month right now. Can you please help me figure out my branding and marketing strategy so that I can get to that next level where I can make $500,000 a month and I can finally be a better mom to my kids and take better care of my health?" Like, I hope you're all hearing this. because I'm betting that none of you are making 250,000 a month from doTERRA on this call. So just know if you're expecting that number to solve that thing that you're still probably working on today. Like, how many of you woke up today and were like, oh, if I only had more money, then like my whole life would be better, right? I could take better care of myself. I could be there for my family. Well, they were still saying this at $250,000 a month. And I've just been in around way too many doTERRA diamonds to know that the money is amazing. The money is such a gift and it's such a support, but it doesn't solve all the things, right? So they're in a practice of financial wellness also, just like we can be in right now before we're making 250 or $500,000 a month from doTERRA, right? So that's the angle of your story that you're sharing from is you know I I believe in this. This is something I'm practicing right now. I'm practicing living financially well. And that looks like creating residual income. I really believe that too few of us have residual income, and that is a major part of what all the people who have major wealth have. So I'm creating that for myself. I'm not just going to abide by the system where if I just plug into a job and I get retirement, that I'm going to be okay. I'm charting my own course. I'm choosing to be in a practice of creating more financial freedom for myself. And if you're interested in that practice as well, if you're tired of, or you're not sure of what your future is going to look like, link arms with me. Let's figure this out together. This is a really powerful vehicle. I'd love to talk to you about it, you know, or doing so with your health and wellness, right? It's the practice. So then when you're sharing your story, like Virginia's beautiful story of hurting her finger, using some doTERRA essential oils on that, and then having it help it heal so much faster and feel so much better, then that just becomes evidence of you living in the practice of what you are sharing with the world. There's this quote from Byron Katie that I'll just close with, and I'll probably botch it up, but it goes something to the effect of, we can't hear what you're trying to share with us until you are living it. Right. So it's like this idea of we could be out talking all day long on social media and telling people how they need oils and how frankincense is going to change their life. But really it comes down to, how do we embody the message more? How are we living in the practice of our mission, of what we're dedicated to creating with doTERRA, why we chose in doTERRA is not necessarily an easy thing to choose into. Network marketing isn't an easy thing to choose into. And so, like, what made that drum beat strike up in you that you're like, something's here for me? This feels really alive for me. This feels really helpful. And like it opened up these doors of possibilities. Like, that's what your people that you're trying to connect, that's what they're after. They just want that door opened. They want to have access to possibilities as well. And so, sharing your stories, sharing more of your mission and vision and why, and those points of like, hey, if you're like me, you're also sick and tired of blank, blank, blank. That's where you're going to see the biggest bang for your buck of how to show up strong online. And I would say if people come to your profile and they don't see a single doTERRA essential oil on it, it's also probably okay if they see, like, you living in the practice of your wellness lifestyle that you're committed to as part of this work, right? And showing up for your dream and your vision. That's what really inspires people is the soul to what you're doing, the soul of it, not the logic of it, not the, oh, if only I had frankincense so that I could help my finger get better, like they're like, wow, Virginia keeps pulling out essential oils when she has stuff coming up at home. She just always knows what to do. I love how she's connected to the plants. I love how she's on this mission that's so big and juicy, and how she just like going to change the world. Like, that's inspiring to people, not here's the 5 healing properties of lavender. And, you don't need to build a case for doTERRA and like win over logic as much as you need to win over hearts. And we win over hearts through story, through connecting with people, through really showing up. How can I serve you? What's your dream? Let's see if doTERRA can be a support to that. How's that feeling to everybody? Can't believe how fast our time went. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments where you're at, or even like we can go over a few minutes. And if you'd like to come off mute and just share any thoughts in closing, yes, please share.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I just want to say that this is really reassuring to what I decided to do at the beginning of the year, where I felt like I was swimming against that current on social media, and I decided to step away and just be very intentional with those that have said yes to me already through social media and not waste any more time. And so I just wanted to say that I'm so grateful for this conversation and just the reassuring part that I made that decision and that it's actually working well. And now with the summer over us, that I can really focus on those people that have said yes to me and be very intentional with them. So thank you so much
Mm.
for today.
Oh, Fabiola, this is so gorgeous what you're sharing, and you're so welcome. I'm hearing in that, like, you can trust yourself, Fabiola. You knew the beginning of the year, something is off here, this isn't aligned. You made a shift. And so hopefully this is just affirmation, right? And that's the case for each of you to really be mindful and intentional. Like, where's your heart calling you to share and lead? And when I ask people that question, I just really don't get the answer very often anymore that it's social media. So
Right.
listen to it. Yay. Yay, Fabiola. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Oh, good. So glad this is feeling supportive, Shanna. Glad that was helpful. Becky sharing. Love the thoughts about sharing from our why and our soul. It makes such a difference. Jennifer sharing my personal mission and vision and how I can help the world in its future, living intentionally. You guys are ready. Go out into the world now. So take a minute before you get going in your day after now that you've hopped off this call. Like, what's the one next step that you're going to take? Everything we've talked about today, right? Maybe some of you are going to feel inspired of like, I'm just going to hop on live on Instagram right now and I'm just going to share my mission and vision. Why the heck I'm doing this, you know? Or maybe some of you are going to go and you're going to write a list of like a few people that have come to mind to you lately that you're like, okay, I'm ready to reach out to them. Whatever it is, do it. Fabiola, yeah, come off mute again.
One more thing. I love
Yeah.
social media, and because I owe it to those that still follow me on there some time to nurture them, because I know we all spend time on it. I actually
Mhm.
got on a call with my upline, and I knew she was kind of feeling the same way. And I said, hey, why don't we just do a session every Tuesday at the same time where we jump on and we share what's been working for us and what hasn't? Just
Mhm.
real life connection and mainly just to hold each other accountable for showing up and connecting with
Mhm.
people. So I wanted to share that part with you all. So if
Oh.
there's something that we do that we can do on social media, like we've mentioned today, let's just be us. Let's connect. Let's grab that upline, grab that person that's building with us, and let's
Mm.
together hold each other accountable to show up for 30 minutes on that space that we've created and just plant it and let's see where it goes. And that's another piece
Mm.
that I would love to leave you all with today.
Thank you, Fabiola. You're bringing up one of my favorite concepts to think of with social media is be a lighthouse there, right? So it's just like these kinds of things that we've been talking about, mission, vision, join me, your story, like those things power the lighthouse. And then that can help it be so much more magnetic. But you're also reminding me of one of the places we didn't talk about that isn't algorithm based, that is still so insanely valuable is DMs, right? You can still always typically reach people in their direct messages. And so, as I was pondering this with my own team, I went through a big chunk of my downline and I just like started finding them on Instagram and Facebook and I sent them a little love note like, hey, how are you doing? I've been thinking of you lately. What's going on in your world? And it was so healing and so supportive. People I haven't talked to in way too long because they haven't shown up on a call or seen my post or whatever nonsense, but just actually seeing their name, remembering them, connecting with them through a DM. It's powerful, right? So I would highly recommend that. I'm not telling you to sell to them in DMs or pressure them. I'm telling you to build connection in DMs, right? So, all right, we could stay on here for hours talking about all this goodness because there's so much goodness here. But I hope this gave you enough to jumpstart your day wherever you are, or help you end your day. And I'm cheering you on in all that you're creating. You've got this. The world needs what you have to offer. Keep showing up bravely and listen to that drumbeat in your heart to guide you and bring this soulful, beautiful, healing message out into the world that's within you. I see it, I hear it, I feel it, and I can't wait for more people in the world to experience it from you. So go out and enjoy, and sending you lots of love today. Have an amazing, amazing day. Bye, guys.